What's up, guys? I'm here to do a review on 574 of Bleach. I thought this chapter was pretty legit. By the way, come on guys, I get like 20-30 views per video at times. It may not be a lot, but leave a comment so I know it's not just some bot out there. Regardless though, this chapter was pretty darn awesome. 574. Let's just get into it. First things first though, it was a very simple chapter. As you can see, everyone knows who Zaraki Kenpachi is. They all started cheering immediately when they sensed his Ryatsu. That's the first big point though. Not everyone sensed, well, no one sensed his Ryatsu until after that that sort of platform arose, which I think is a foreshadowing event for the future. It's like something that didn't really come about. By the way, if you guys don't know already from the tons of times I've said it already, Zaraki Kenpachi is currently my favorite character. I like his whole attitude. I'm looking at this panel right now and he's just like always so fucking noisy. I hate cursing, but there you go. And that's Zaraki for you. Like, he doesn't really give a crap about ego or being praised by his companions. He actually thinks it's kind of annoying, which I really like about him. Anyhow, here's my whole thing about this guy. First off, he's the strongest of the Stern Ridders, and I totally like his whole outfit, his hairstyle. It's just, it works really well with him. Like his curly blonde hair, his wardrobe. I just think it works perfect for the personality and type of skills he has. The only thing is that, like, he really has, at least from what I can tell so far, boundless limitations with his imagination. Sure, he can't concentrate on everything at the same point, which is why he lost control and turned the girl back into normal bones rather than cookie bones at the end. But it seems like he can literally imagine anything. This chapter he imagined his wounds were healed. They were healed. Last chapter he imagined he was the hardest steel. He was. And then he imagined all this other stuff like water, chasms, they appeared. I don't think it's realistic because, I mean, you can, like, my imagination probably isn't even the best or greatest imagination in the world, but like literally, if you can imagine anything, why not imagine 10,000 different monsters raining down from the skies, or Zaraki's bones turning to water, or his brain turning to mush or spaghetti. That would immediately kill anyone. Like, there's a million things I can imagine that would end the fight immediately. And the whole idea behind this power, which is really, in my imagination, limitless. Like, think about it. You can imagine an omniscient, omnipotent God that will win the fight for you automatically. You can imagine a flying spaghetti monster that turns into a black hole, or an atomic Big Bang that immediately wipes out Zaraki on the spot before he can react. A million things. And so it's unrealistic in that perspective, and I think it's kind of funny how the creator of Bleach, Tide Kubo, who imagined this whole Bleach universe, didn't really think of that. So I guess maybe he's just limited in his imagination as a Stern Ritter. But that's the only plot hole in my opinion. The other thing is, again, I want to touch back on the notice Captain. Did anyone notice the captain's Ryatsu before the fortress appeared? And I'm quoting from the panel. I thought that was very interesting in my opinion. I'm curious to see what's the whole thing about that. Maybe it has something to do with the Stern Ritter's ability. I'm not sure though. On top of that though, it's just very interesting. Like, it seemed like really that he had no chance at one point. Like, I was hoping for him to win, but like literally for a moment it was like, this guy has no chance. Like, he's stuck in water. How is he going to do anything when this guy can literally imagine anything? He can imagine this guy freezing in place. But I was always secretly rooting for Kenpachi to win. I'm like, come on, Kenpachi, you're so strong. You can do this. I don't understand how you can't. Well, that's probably not the best phrasing. I don't understand. I want you to win this. I'm hoping you will win this because you've gotten so much stronger. You can't just lose now. And that moment passed very quickly. It was literally like a couple pages. I thought at first like that cataclysm was from Zuraki's slash of the sword, but it wasn't. It was imagined. I thought they do another thing which happened like 200 chapters ago in Bleach, when it was like the bad guys like, that's what I created, and then the good guys like, nope, I created that with the slash of my sword. Ichiko did that with Aizen 200 chapters ago. Unfortunately, Tide Kubo didn't want to replay that. And it's funny. So you guys know what happened in chapter. Zuraki, he somehow moves out of the water, gets the girl, and is about to hit this guy with his blade, but he reacts in time and blocks it with some sort of metal object, metal pillar out of nowhere. But it's interesting because first off, Yachiru, there's the whole weakness, and Zuraki, obviously this combat genius, realized it immediately. Like, he's literally a prodigy in fighting. He realized the weakness immediately, like he always does. The weakness is that Yachiru, like, this guy cannot concentrate. If he forgets about one of his imagined things, he forgets about it and it stops happening. So Zuraki exploded that, and Yachiru is no longer cookie boned. So it's very interesting. That's obviously the weakness that Zuraki has to exploit to defeat this guy. I just thought the only preposterous thing is, like, why didn't you imagine Zuraki to be unable to move? Instead, you just imagined a decent sized pool of water surrounding him that he couldn't just jump out of. It's ridiculous. Like, you could have imagined him bound up, or just his heart being a piece of stone, or cookie, or any other real vital organ being a cookie, rather than like bones. I mean, sure, you can still die if your bones are made of cookies, but not unless you move. If you change their heart or brain or liver to cookie, well, not liver, but some vital organ, then they'd be dead immediately. Honestly, it's a plot hole. I think it's unrealistic, or maybe this guy just doesn't have that imagination for it. Anyhow, see you guys later in my next video. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe.